Hi there, Allan Knight here with another video. And today I'm going to talk about the subject, which has to do with how do we respond rather than react in our relationships. Something that happens quite often in especially codependent dysfunctional relationships is we easily get triggered. Things happen, things are said, things are done to us. We take it personally, oversensitively, and we react. And if we react, and they react, then we both go downhill from there. So one of the things that becomes really important in learning how to effectively communicate with other people is to learn how to respond rather than react. So in order to respond, the first thing we need to do to some degree is master who we are on a day-by-day basis. Because if we live our lives inundated with our own levels of insecurity and fear, then when we go out into the world day after day and we get triggered, the trigger is just going to stimulate and probe that part of us that's insecure. And we have a knee-jerk reaction to that, not because the problem is in what they said or how they said it, but it started way before that in how we feel about ourselves day after day after day after day after day. But if we take responsibility to empower ourselves, to learn to like ourselves, to learn to become our own best friend, and walk around most of the time feeling pretty damn good, content, happy, excited about life, and then somebody says something or does something, now we can feel it, that's normal. But what we do have control over is how to respond. So if I've taken the time to develop myself and strengthen myself and build up my mindset and self-esteem and so on, then I'm going to be able to be aware of what's happening when I get triggered. Oh, that's an interesting trigger. And then we'll be able to quickly, intuitively respond in a very effective way in every situation. So let me give you a concrete example. Let's say somebody criticizes me, has a habit of criticizing me, and I react to it because I'm very sensitive. And I react by shutting up and not saying anything and just taking it, yet being very resentful toward that person, or I react and I bark back and we both go downhill. But if this is a pattern, for example, of someone saying some of those things to me in the way they are, I might stop, say, hold it. Why is there such a strong need in you to put me down right now? Why is there such a strong need for you to put me down right now? What I'm doing is I am asserting myself in a loving way, in a confident way, mirroring the person. It becomes less about me and my insecurity fighting back, and more about lifting myself to a higher level of response because of my self-mastery that I've worked on. And I come up with the appropriate words that will put it back on them. It will force them to look inside themselves rather than feed the fire of continuing on the process of putting me down and me barking back at them. That's not going to help anybody. So the only way we can elevate our game is by continuing to work on ourselves day after day after day, including when we're alone, and then refining and polishing our communication skills to respond appropriately to the moment. It could be a question. It could be silence. I walk out of the room and then they have to look at themselves in the mirror. Or I might look at them and say, you know what? Until you're coming from a different state of emotional stability right now, I think we should wait to have this conversation to another time. That's responding rather than reacting. Hope you enjoyed it. Talk to you real soon.